Hey guys, welcome back to the Tailgate Show. I'm your host, Tanja Miles, and I have with me today Kendra Novak, and she's with Novak Realtor, and she is so on top of her game. There's a lot of information she has been telling us, and there's so much more information that I think people need to know because, again, buying a home is a big purchase. I think it's bigger than, buying the nicest car or the nicest boat. In South Louisiana, we love to hunt and fish and stuff like that. So those are big purchases. But buying a home, I think you got to get your mind right to buy a home. Do you agree with that?
I do. It takes mental preparation, and it's funny that you said that because that's one of the first things I tell my clients is listen. They're going to ask you for a lot of information. You're going to send them packets of stuff on Wednesday. Then on Friday they're going to, want something else. Be prepared for that.
Well, how important is it to prepare? I mean, what are some of the things you think that people need to have before they even, think about, I want to buy a home and, I know my credit is good. So don't you think they should make a list or they should find out what the list should be?
Yes.
What's on that list?
Yes, and that is what we provide. So my lenders send them bullet points of everything. And I think the biggest challenge is if you send, as the buyer, the home buyer, if you send, one thing one day and then we don't get the next thing until a week later, the best thing is to compile it all together. And so that's going to include your last 2 years, tax returns, your last 30 days bank statements, most recent check stubs, things like that, versus sending just a check stub and then we don't get the bank statement until next week. So yeah, gathering all of that documentation does make the process go so much more smoothly.
So when should people, start, preparing to buy a home? I mean, let's talk about interest rates. I mean, should we wait until the interest rates are low and that's when we should jump in?
I think right now interest rates still remain historically low, and here's the thing,
which is great.
It is. It's absolutely great. But here's the thing with interest or rates long term. 2 years from now or 3 years from now, you can't predict them.
Right.
I can't predict them. They are, through the Federal Reserve, they're the ones who are going to determine, based on the economy, whether or not they're to go up or go down. I think just determining right now where are you in your life and is it time for you or should you wait based on other life circumstances, not because of, let me see if the rates are going to go down, in 2020.
Well, we're going to talk about your home buying seminar and we're going to break more things down in the next segment, so you don't want to go anywhere. But here's the deal. We've talked a lot about people who want to buy a house. What if I have a home and I'm ready to sell?
Wow, yes, absolutely. Well, that's my passion.
It is?
That's what I absolutely love to do. I like to transition that seller from owning their current home to selling that home to buying their next home.
Okay.
And so what we'll do, again, we develop a plan of action, and if everything is followed and they follow our instructions, then they are hugely successful. I just had one recently where she was one of the, most nervous people you could ever imagine, but we calmed her down and just basically walked her through, and she closed on the one that she owned on a Wednesday, then closed on the one that she purchased on Thursday.
Oh, wow. In the same week?
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Man, talking about having your ducks in order.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are the benefits of using a realtor? Some people say, you know what, I'm just going to put a for sale by owner sign up and be done with it, and I'm going to keep all that money to myself. Is that true?
Well, I tell you what, one of the things I say to myself all the time is that, gosh, I personally would never do it without a realtor.
Okay.
You have to have one. You need that mediator, that coordinator, that person to, answer all of your questions, all of the paperwork, the legality, the different laws, the contracts, the purchase agreements, the addendums. If something comes to your mind and you're in a jam where the buyer's done this and you've done this, then how do you get out of it? You need someone to guide you to say, well, here's the form for that, where, everyone can sign and agree. Now, don't get me wrong, as a for sale by owner, if someone's a for sale by owner, I get it. I get it, especially if you can't afford to hire a realtor, because oftentimes, they just don't have that cushion in there, and they just simply can't afford the services. But if you can't afford the services of a professional, then hire one.
So what's the rate of hiring a realtor?
So here's the thing, and I'm so glad that you asked that, and I want to share this with you and the entire universe, the world, is that no one, based on the Louisiana Real Estate Commission rules and regulations, no realtor can ever say there's a specific rate.
Really?
Absolutely.
I thought there was just like one flat rate.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Commissions are negotiable.
Oh, really?
However, each company has their own set commission that they charge their clients.
So, I mean, can you give us like a little range?
So, again, I will answer that question, but let me give just full disclosure first.
Okay.
There is no range. There's no set amount. It can be anything and any number. I will tell you that Novak Realty, LLC, charges 6% to list, market, and sell a home for a home seller. And if there's a situation where once we work out a net sheet for our clients and we look at, where they are with their current mortgage and maybe taxes and homeowners association dues, then we may have some flexibility in there to offer them a 5% listing fee, but I can never say what another company charges because I honestly do not know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important just to hire a realtor because you guys, like you said, you know the ins and outs, you know the rules and regulations, but that's a lot of work. And I think about just, going back to watching TV, and I know one of the things that you guys always say, when you're listing your house have to always be clean, and some people stage their house and stuff like that. Is that overkill for TV?
It's honestly not overkill, and let me tell you something. I am not bragging.
Well, you can brag. It's cool.
But that is the number one reason our listings sell as quickly as they do, is because we get in there and we pull it all out. It's like, let's get these closets together.
Oh, so you really do that? That's just not made for TV?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you this, when a buyer walks into your home, you can have two houses on the exact same street, same neighborhood, both absolutely beautiful. They're going to envision or see more value in that home that is so pristine, that is so clean, that is so organized, that is staged. They're going to see more value in that home than they would a similar home in the same neighborhood that's cluttered, that's messy, that's junky.
So, I mean, but, we don't want to scare anybody off when it comes to them wanting to buy, to sell their house.
Scare them off.
Yeah. Okay. So she wants
to get declutter, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, we all need to do that. But, what about, if people are saying, I have to spend that extra money to get this done
Well, part of Novak Realty LLC, our services is that with the listing and the marketing, we come in and we assist you with that. So staging for us is not about, hiring a company and rechanging furniture. It's not that at all.
Okay,
it's not that at all.
Deal.
Staging is basically just the appropriation of your pieces, your furniture, the layout, making sure that, your mantle doesn't have, 10 different designs on top of it. So we use exactly what you already have in your home, and then we help you to coordinate it in a way where it's visually appealing to your visitors.
That makes sense. I mean, using what people have, because like I said, we don't want to scare anybody away. And, we see so many things on TV, and it makes you go, I'm not ready for that.
I know.
And can I keep my house clean 24 hours with 3 kids running around?
Tanja, I one of my sellers, she said, look, I can't keep living. Because you every day when you wake up, there's showings, right? Because your home is marketed so well by our company.
Oh, good.
The showings are consistent until someone makes you an offer. But you're living beautifully every morning because your home is so organized.
Okay.
And so you kind of have to maintain that for the first couple of weeks while it's on the market.
Well, let's transition back to buying a home.
Okay.
And let's talk about the 2 words people are kind of afraid to talk about: credit score.
Okay. I love it. Yes.
So your credit score has to be 965?
No, not at all. And it's really so huge that I can't bottle it up into just one thing. Your score can be any range. So I guess to best answer that question for you, so here's my thing.
Okay.
Your score can be, not so great of a score, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you may still be able to purchase a home. What'll happen is you just may not get the exact same, we were talking about earlier, interest rates, right? You just may not be offered the lower interest rate. So it may cost you a little more per month versus someone who's maybe taken the time to clean some things up where they are able to boost their score to get the score a little higher. That higher score may afford you a lower interest rate and better loan products in the long run.
Okay, this is a lot of information, and of course, we cannot do all this information in 1 hour. However, you have something that's coming up, and that's going to be your 2018 Home Buying Seminar and Expo. We're going to get more into it after the break, but just give us a little tease of what's going to happen there. Because I know you're going to give a lot of information out, right?
Yes, I will. You just do not want to miss it. We're going to have several vendors there, banks, mortgage companies, title companies. Louisiana Housing Corporation is who we have partnered with this year. And they're going to be sharing the different products that they actually offer to assist home buyers with, closing costs and down payment assistance, so on and so forth, to be able to get into that new home.
Oh, why'd you have to say down payment? That's another word we don't like.
Well, hey, they're 100% financing. No, there's no down payment. There's some down payment. It depends on, credit score. It depends on your income. It depends on so much that it depends.
Well, we're going to talk about what it depends on.
Okay.
I mean, because I know a lot of people who are out there saying, you know what, I do want to buy a home.
Yes.
But I hear there's so many things that you have to have in place. So at your expo, you're going to have like a one-stop shop. And
yes.
So that's why you don't want to miss it. And we're going to give you that information after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Oh, wow. This is awesome.
And we're almost done.
Girl, you make people feel comfortable. That's what it is.
No, because these are great questions, and you know your stuff. So, I mean, and your flowers are so cute.